Hi, welcome to my vloggy video. Today I would like to, and welcome to my studio. This is my studio. I don't often show you this side of the camera. As you can probably maybe tell, this is my living room, but we dedicated a part of it to the studio. And today I'll be testing out a little collab that I'm doing with Woomer Art. So this will be the star of the video. They've sent me some paper, which they said it's mostly good for drawing, but I'm trying to find the camera. You're there. Yeah, so they sent me some papers. They said they're better for drawings than for watercolors. I don't really understand this cutout, but I guess it's pretty, depending on what your style is. And they also sent me this watercolor paint set. 24 colors, so that should be a fun little exercise, and it comes in this really nice color, like minty, very light minty tin, and I can't wait to test this out. I've never used their paints before. I have tested their colored pencils before. You can see that. I will link that up, if I don't forget, in the cards somewhere on the screen, but also I will try and put it in the description of the video so you can find it easily. Excuse my hair, this is just not behaving, I guess. And also I will be showing you what I got at it's like I thrifted things, or I swapped things at a local craft swap, where you bring a bunch of crafty things and you pay, I think it's £6, and then you can take whatever you want back from what other people brought in. It's kind of like a nice, kind of like recycling. Arts and crafts materials, which is kind of really cool. I always look forward to it, and I always try and go. I will also be deciding which products I will bring to a local shop. I've already been selling there since January this year. I think it was January or like end of Jan this year, and these have been selling really well. And a couple of the products that I thought might do well there aren't doing as well as I planned, but the illustration stuff definitely does. So I'm going to think about that at some point today and restock any of the stickers. Like, these are selling well, much better than any other sticker sheets. So I'm constantly restocking these. But last time I used my cutter, it was slightly misbehaving. It just would not register correctly. So we'll see how that goes. I also I'm toying with the idea of bringing my stickers to the shop. I'm not quite sure if I should put them in like protective packaging, how they're going to survive being handled by customers. But I was thinking the unicorn, this anxious pigeon. I'm just picking the most, like the favorite designs that people have been buying consistently recently. There's this wizard frog, which I think will go nicely. Some of my sketchbooks, which were kind of woodland themed, have been selling well there. And we can't forget the existential frog. I think this will either be a favorite or it will sell nothing, like none of them will sell. We'll see. I think it's worth a try. I think at some events people loved it, at some events people were a bit meh about it, so we'll see about that. Did I show you this? I have sketchbook with the same illustrations, just slightly different like colors and stuff, and these sketchbooks have been selling quite well there as well. So I thought, why not bring the theme that people already love there and restock these. Okay, I think I'm going to switch to my usual camera and I think we should swatch first, because that's the purpose of this video. I'd love to show you what I just received in the post. It's part of the collab. Yeah, I'm excited to see, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's a brand I've worked with before, and I really enjoyed working with them. It was very easy, and I loved their product. So they've sent it to me for an honest review, so I'm going to see what I feel about it. So, it's a package from Woomer Art. It's a Chinese brand of art supplies. And yeah, I'm excited. You can check out their details here. I will also pop them in the description of the video for you. So it's Woomer Art and all those different social medias. And oh, okay. So I was going to test some papers, but this is They were upfront with me and they said that this paper is more suitable for drawing. So these are the papers. Okay. Ooh, fancy. That's a proper palette. So it's a watercolor paint set. Rich color, easy to blend, easy to activate. 24 colors, and it's got this lovely cat in the image, on the image. And it came in this really nice color palette. It's actually not super heavy. I have a gripe with these metal palettes. Like, this isn't the lightest either, but it's also not the heaviest I've ever seen. And yeah. Oh, it came with a swatch card, which a lot of these palettes don't come with. So this is really cool. Can't wait to test these. I think someone was throwing this package around perhaps in the post. I would love to make sense of these colors, but I'm sure it will make sense when I go through this. Maybe they're not in order, potentially. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to fly around in here. So that potentially needs a bit of tightening. So like I said, this video is not sponsored, but I have been sent these for a review. So I haven't bought these, but I intend to give you an honest review. My first thoughts is loads of colors should be useful, but I don't know how I'll deal with this because I often throw my paints into my backpack, and they will, if they fall out, that would be a problem. Some look very interesting, like this ultramarine looks very granulating. By granulating, I mean it looks like it has lots of like differentiation in the pigment, which is always very interesting to see. But these are the colors. I like that they came with this label, so whether they're light fast, they mostly claim to be very light fast, which is interesting because these colors are notoriously bad and they claim to be light fast. I wonder if anyone has made any test. It also came with these labels, so which colors are transparent, semi-opaque, semi-transparent and opaque. And also, as far as I can see, none of the colors are beyond under level 5 or 6. So all of them should be light fast. I think that's useful as a reference. Provided I can find each color reliably, that would be really good to know. Most of these are semi-transparent and some of them are opaque, like the ochre I think is often ochre is often opaque, and okay, black as well. And all the pigment information is on here as well, so I don't have to look it up anywhere. I prepared a sketchbook. This is a watercolor planner mid-weight sketchbook. I also have my blending mister. It's just a bottle with a spray bottle. And okay, I'm going to move the stickers because I don't want tragedies to happen. Okay, so let's open this set. So as I said before, I love that I'm pretty confident this will be lemon yellow. So here's a voiceover camera. As you can see, I sped up the video just to show you a quicker version of this. I found a few of the colors a bit confusing because of them mixing up in the packaging, but I really enjoyed swatching them. They seem very, very bright, very vibrant. So if you wanted to get something a bit more muted, you can add a bit more water, but I found it really enjoyable as a process because of how vibrant the colors are. So like I said, they claim to be light fast, so should be good for finished pieces, though I recommend that you test the light fastness for yourself just to be sure. So I have no idea what happened here if you were watching me swatch this. I missed one and I'm going to try and work out which one it was. This actually took a while, but I cut it out for you so you don't have to see me struggle. But I feel like I will have to make another swatch card for this. Okay, I pre-sketched what I would like to paint and I'm going to just experiment, do a bit of what I would normally do in my sketchbook rather than like boring swatches, if that makes sense. I prefer just going straight into my sketchbooks. Often I wouldn't even sketch, I would just go straight with paint. So the music will go up in a second and I won't be talking much throughout, and you can paint along, you can test out your own materials, You can have me on in the background and occasionally look. I'm just here to keep you company and paint. So I'll see you at the end of I've just finished painting. It will take a while to dry, especially the frog. This is a weird shape of a frog, I know, but this is how I draw them. And yeah, the swatching is done. I won't move it too much because it will move around. This is my page. I enjoyed doing swatching in a slightly different way than just swatching colors and labeling them. Yeah, I hope this was useful in some way. I hope you enjoyed looking at it or painting along to it. I tried to do my own way of painting, and I don't like to follow the rules of watercolors. I don't know why. My brain just doesn't want to. Some of them bled into each other. I think that just shows you my process. This is how I work. I'm a bit chaotic, a bit ADHD. What can I say? That's just how things go. And I like the happy mistakes, accidents. That's all part of the sketchbook work. This isn't a finished work, a finished piece. I tried a bit of blending here. I like a gradient in my own way. I added a bit of variation here and there. I also wrote this Woomer text. This brush isn't the best for text or for accuracy, so it's a bit wonky, but that's okay. And while this dries, I will show you this at the end when it's dry. Let's put it aside. I would like to show you the rest of the things that I promised. I'll show you my shop haul first. It's a couple items I bought for my next event. I like to improve at least one small thing for each market. That's my minimum. I got these scale balls. There were 2 of them for £1 in the bargain basket. Just very basic balls. Also in the same shop, I bought a couple of these, so I already had one. And I always wanted these. These were really affordable. They just kind of pack flat and then you can assemble them at an event. And there you have your box. And I think I will put like some zines in here, or maybe like some prints, things like that. So onto the art haul, the craft swap haul. Let's unpack this. Just some tissue paper. You can always use some tissue paper when you're a small business, so that's useful. A bit more of tissue paper. Again, not super exciting, but as a business, I think that's kind of nice to have. Again, boring stickers. I always need labels. There were loads of these. I only grabbed a few because I don't really post in boxes. Okay. Someone literally left them and I grabbed these paintbrushes. I love cheap paintbrushes. I like that there's many of them, so maybe if I ever have a workshop in the future, maybe I can use these. But equally, I'll probably just use them for painting myself. I like a cheap brush, and these seem quite good, probably for acrylic painting. I grabbed a couple Sharpie fine points. They're actually quite unused. I use these to draw on packages, on envelopes, I also got this tool. I think it's for maybe tufting or something like that. The reason I grabbed it was I recently did a workshop. I attended a workshop where we were scratching off Tetra Pak printing, and this has a point, so I can use that as a tool. The workshop actually taught me to improvise, and I like that. A paintbrush, this one seems quite nice. Never seen this brand before. Rotmander, Revel, not sure. And it's like it looks like a pencil. This one's primed textured paper for oil. but I thought I might use them for any type of painting. I like experimenting for my graphic novel. Always good to have paper for painting. Some random paper sheets, again just for drawing. Maybe I'll make a sketchbook out of this, who knows. Canson. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, because it's all in French, I assume, but it seems to have a nice textured quality. It seems quite cheap, but sometimes cheap is better, like these brushes. I just feel less precious about them. Surprise, more paper. This one, on the packaging of this one, it says, it shows all the different materials, so it seems like marker pens and colored pencils should be good, and maybe like brush pens? I don't think it's watercolor paper. And this one, again, just some blank paper. These seem... Is this like fancy? Favini? Disegno? Ruvido? Whatever that means. I don't really know this brand. But what I like is it's kind of like a fancy packaging. So maybe... And it's embossed. So maybe it's fancy paper? I don't know. I'll just try it out for my graphic novel again. I just like trying lots of different things. Oh, it's drawing paper. Okay, so it's probably student grade, but I think that's all good. 220 GSM, which is quite good thickness even for light wet media. And more paper. This one is for pastels, charcoal and chalk drawing. Again, I might just draw on this paper using pencils. See how I get on. The nice thing about this craft swap is whatever here I won't use, next time it happens, I can just bring it back and someone else will have it if they want it. So nothing goes to waste really. And I also spotted this Parker ink. It's Quink, and I have one already, and I've been using it a lot. I love this. I love Parker inks. I don't know what it is about Quink. So just for a little bit of change of scenery, I'll show you a little bit of what inspired me lately when I was recording this. I love watching nature, and I love watching the shadows in the evenings when the sun is about to set. I love how the mood that it creates. I love staring at leaves in the wind and when the sun is shining off them. Like the golden hour is my favorite time of the day. I don't know if you can relate to that, but there's just something, like the world is very different during golden hour. I also recently taught a cyanotype workshop to young people, and yeah, taught them how to make photography without camera. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this sunset. And we're back. I decided to just get a few colors from the palette and test them out, but this is a work in progress of painting this piece of kelp from a book called The Seaweed Collector's Handbook. I borrowed it from the library. But yeah, it's a really inspiring book full of different seaweeds and yeah, really nice illustrations. And I thought I'll give it a try. This is work in progress, and so far I really enjoy using these paints. I'm using them in a bad way. But that's how I use them, so I wanted to test it more realistically rather than trying to be perfect, and I'll check in when there's more. Okay, so I used just these 3 watercolor in this, and I think the stage where I'm painting is over, so I've done all the little details using watercolor, but I will finish it using colored pencil. I don't tend to finish my paintings using jet watercolor, so I said colored pencil is what I will be using because I think it's easier to get the finer detail. I'm not an expert in watercolor, I use them a lot, but yeah, that's my process. So I can't wait to show you the finished paint. It will be in the sketchbook tour because it's almost finished, the sketchbook. So yeah, so far the impressions are that these paints are really nicely pigmented, so a little goes a long way. And I'm just grabbing my brush. I'm just gonna use the rest of what I have on my palette on this page. So just a little bit of leftover paint. I'll just make some weirdo trees just so you can see how nicely the watercolor granulate. And yeah, it does granulate really nicely on this paper. This is watercolor stock from Sea White of Brighton. is their watercolor sketchbook. I think cold pressed. It's not too thick, but the paper handles watercolors really nicely. Just doing a few blobs, and then I'll fill them up with a bit of details when I'm at the stage of, like, once everything dries, I will finish it off. I often do this, like, I know with watercolors you're not really supposed to go back and like mess things up, but I do. So this is a real test. Can they work in the same way? Can they serve a purpose for me? Hi, it's me again. You may notice that, yeah, I look different because it's a completely different week or even month, because we're now in July. I am rocking, well, I am channeling Sophie McPike with my fringe, because it's been really hot and I can't cope. But as I promised, I'm going to quickly show you the paintings that I've done using the Woomer paints. Let's see. So this is the finished piece of the one we were painting, or I was showing you earlier. So I added some colored pencils here and filled in the gaps with the tree. The tree is actually using a Sophie McPike tutorial. Well, I watched it and then I kind of applied it later on. I used a magic pencil just to spice things up a bit, like make them more interesting. And yeah, you can see all my mistakes that I've done on purpose, because that's how I paint, like the blobs of water where they dissolved, all of that, and this image of seaweed that I really enjoyed painting, and it's finished using some colored pencils. So that was really fun. But also I took the paints to a local market and I used a Pentel Pocket brush pen to paint this Dalmatian pelican, and then I filled in the colors. So the greys are water-soluble graphite, the black is the Pentel Pocket brush pen, but the red and blue are the watercolors that I took there and used them on location, just trying to paint. I struggle painting on location, like painting what I see sometimes, so I painted something from Pexels, which is a free website for references. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was informative and gave you a bit of an insight into Woomer Art and their paints. I also reviewed their colored pencils before. If you enjoyed this and if you'd like to find out more, down in the description I put a link and a code which you can see somewhere on the screen, wherever I'll put it, for 10% discount. And if there is no code, that means that it's in the description as well, which, yeah, you can find it there. Check them out. I recommend their pencils. Their pencils, I would say, can compete with the likes of Prismacolor. I don't know how they compare on light fastness because I haven't done any tests, and I don't think anyone, at least when I looked, I couldn't see any light fastness tests. But yeah, the watercolors. So this was an honest opinion. The one thing that I struggled with was the fact that they mixed in the packaging and that I can't secure them, so I won't be taking out the full pan with me on location because they will just jumble together. But I quite enjoyed having a tiny tin with just 3 primary colors, and I think for most things, for most situations, especially because I'm now using a lot more of the graphite, like this, lots of greys, I think a couple pops of color actually is all I need on location, and if I paint at home I can use all of the colors. And it's not the biggest problem because I rarely look at, oh, this is this color, but because of the swatch card it would be useful to know exactly which ones are which. I will never know, but that's okay. I think that's okay. I can make a new swatch card without all the text on it, just the colors that match the locations of the paints in the pans. I think that could be a way around it. So yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, the usual stuff. I won't bore you with that. If you would like to check out my shop, I'll leave the link in the description as well. I've been working on a few shop update items and things like that, so be sure to check it out. And I'll see you in the next video. Ta-da! Stay weird and have a lovely day outing. Hey, I forgot to tell you. What did I forget to tell you? Yeah. I forgot what I forgot to tell you. What can I say? Also, you should see a link to the next video on the screen now, so don't forget to check that out. Just click that and it will take you to the next video where you can enjoy more content from me. See you there. See you there. Can you tell I'm still learning to look in the camera?